everybody. Welcome back to this episode of Mindful Mocha Mama's She-Evolving Life. The saga. No. On this episode, I'm Samantha, by the way. On this episode, we are going to talk about orienting yourself to your thoughts. I share a lot of quotes and different things like that on my Instagram page at Mindful Mocha Mama. Follow me. You'll see all of my shenanigans of my life with these kids and a husband, and then you'll get some insightful words, hopefully, too, mixed in there. But thoughts. We're talking about orienting yourself to your thoughts today, which is super important during meditation because you get a lot of thoughts when you're meditating and trying to be mindful. An endless onslaught of thoughts competing for your attention. And some of them, I would say most of them, actually, I think is what the studies suggest, that about 95% of our thinking is not fruitful, non-productive, just background noise that does not serve us. So given that information, what does a girl do with all these useless thoughts that, are either trying to, reinforce some identity, put doubts, to try to do self-preservation? These thoughts are there. So what do you do with them when you're trying to meditate? So orientation of thought, probably one of my favorite topics because, I feel like when you are, when you are being acclimated to this thing called life, when we're very young and we are being taught how to be a human, being socialized to in our particular cultural circles or what have you. Thoughts are one of the main ways that our identity is reinforced because you get words that are, given to you or, put on you or spoken to you. And those words become thoughts in your head that serve to create some sort of identity for you, your ego, from a very, 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 very early age. So, what do we do as we get older, hopefully wiser? Yeah. What do we do with these thoughts? Especially during meditation, a lot of times thoughts that are maybe deep-seated, hidden, get unearthed during meditation and could be quite disturbing, that you have these dark, deep, ugly, secret thoughts, that come. What do you do with that? Does it make me a horrible person? Oh my gosh, to think these things makes me the worst, right? Ugh. No, thoughts. So having a proper orientation to thoughts, you are more than what you think. You are more than what you think. That is not the whole of you, what you think. And I think oftentimes we are so overly identified with our thoughts that sometimes we, feel like that every time a thought pops in our head that we need to do something about it. We need to store it. We need to figure it out. Why is it there? What's going on? What does this mean for me in my life? What I need to do with it, when that's just not the case. Orienting yourself to your thoughts is going to be one of the most key things that you can do when learning how to meditate and become a successful meditator, because you are going to get thoughts. Your mind does not want to sit in a no thinking space. So it will do whatever it has to do to distract you and get you thinking again. That's just what it does. So you're going to get an onslaught of thoughts. You may get thoughts that you never even thought that you would think while you're meditating. You may get something that you thought, I haven't thought about that in years. Why is this coming up during my meditation time? Sneaky little mind. Like, that's what it does. So I'm just here to prepare you and, send love your way and light your way and remind you that you are not your thoughts. And, when you get these thoughts of, whether they be kind of feelings heavy or just maybe like some to-dos that need to get done, like, you can let them come and then they can just go right back away. Like, you don't have to do anything with them. I teach this to my kiddo who is, my older two, both of them. I'm kind of incorporating mindfulness in just how I raise them, because I think it's super important. But my second one is, she's the feeler. She's the empath. She can be a little worrywart. And so she has lots of thoughts. Like, she's an intuitive. So she's constantly thinking and trying to figure out what your body postures mean, what your facial expressions mean, what your reactions mean for her and how she should respond and how she should act. I'm just like, girl, you're 8. Like, we have to get this under control. You cannot always try to respond, mitigate, fix, change your posture based on these inputs of thoughts, these inputs, from outside. So, what I teach her is, especially because she gets upset a lot, in her just like negative emotions, I'm like, you do not have to try to figure out all these negative emotions. I say this the same thing to my preteen who has an onslaught of emotions right now, in that tweeny state right before puberty. A lot of emotions, and she's not liking it at all. She's like, hold up. No, this is what my sister does. I don't get emotional like this. I don't feel all these feels. And so I'm having to sit with her and just be like, look, you're going to feel all these feels, and that's okay. Some days a mood will come over you kind of solemn, and your mind is going to try to see, what's wrong with you? Let's fix this. Why are you feeling like this? Nobody else is feeling this way. And you're going to have to kind of broaden your awareness and be able to see the thought and say, hey, we can just sit here and be with this. We can just feel our body. We don't have to try to do anything with these thoughts. They can just come and they can just go right back where they came from, because if she spends her time trying to figure out every single thought and emotion that comes over her during this like pre-pubescent time, like, she will go crazy. And I'm just like, no. And I'm going to go crazy too. No, just kidding. But no, like, you do not have to be associated, overly identified with your thoughts. They can just come and go. I mean, sometimes you may be in a mood and you don't know why. And that's okay. You can wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I do it all the time. And I try to, just let it'll come. Oh, I'm in a funk. And the awareness. Oh, I snapped at my husband. Awareness of these thoughts and these feelings. And, if it's the time to do something about it, then I will, apologize or what have you. But not overly trying to overly analyze things, because sometimes it just is, and, putting mind energy to try to figure it out is actually not the best use of the time of your time, number one. And it's not going to ultimately fix it sometimes, because there's nothing to figure out. Sometimes you just need to connect. You need to plug in. You need to try to get into this no thinking space. Well, I don't want to say try to get into no thinking space, but bringing your attention back to the present moment is oftentimes the solution to those types of like spontaneous moods, swings, thoughts randomly that, show up, and not judging it all the time. I don't know how many of you guys, if you haven't read the Four Agreements, I would definitely recommend that you read that, because it is so insightful about, what we do as humans as far as attaching to ideas and thoughts, making an agreement with them, as making an agreement with them to say this is your identity now, and judging that. And we don't have to do that. And oftentimes, not attaching and making an agreement with certain thoughts, ideas, ideologies, belief systems, and all that stuff will free us to kind of explore and get curious about the infinite possibilities that exist in our life, and not just try to analyze, judge this, don't judge that, this is wrong, this is right. Hey, the thoughts come and they can go right on back out. I'm meditating, thoughts come, I'm not picking that up, attaching it to who I am. Oh, you thinking that? You're horrible. Oh, you're thinking that? You need to do something about that. Oh, you thinking that? No. It could be even good things. Oh, you're thinking that you're so altruistic. Look at you. Okay, yeah, do more of that. Think more good thoughts. Yeah, you want to serve people? Think of all the ways you can serve. No, I'm not attaching myself to that right now. I am meditating. I am bringing my attention back to the here and now, because mind, I know you're a tricky little thing and you're trying to distract me, but I need to exercise this. I need to exercise this and not overly identify with my thoughts. So, that's what today's episode is about, is you do not have to orient yourself, hold on to your thoughts, and you can orient yourself to them in a way that, will be freeing. Your thoughts won't be, and that this is my identity. You'll be able to kind of look at them from a different angle. You are not just what you think. There's a whole big you outside of your thinking mind. And meditation and mindfulness is an excellent way to try to connect to that self, that higher self. So I just want to encourage you guys, definitely. The meditation for this week is actually a sitting meditation. There's not going to be much guidance for it. We're just going to sit here and we're going to meditate. Like monks do this a lot, where they just sit. The objective is to sit. And it's really challenging, because our mind feels like there's nothing to figure out about sitting. So you oftentimes find yourself daydreaming a lot, kind of, dozing off. You may fall asleep, what have you. But, the sitting meditation is super effective with orienting yourself to thoughts, because you will get so much practice by sitting here and letting the thoughts come over you and having your attention decide, I am not going to do that. I'm going to come here. I am not going to. So we're going to just do the sitting meditation. We're not going to do it for too long, just a few minutes. But I want you to get into a comfortable position. This is your meditation time. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. There's no one else to be, proved to be. Just here, sitting in a chair, feet on the floor, planted comfortably. And what I want you to do is sit. You can soften your gaze, rest your eyes, and just sit. All right. So we're sitting, feet planted. If you want to use your breath as a focal point, feel free to do so. Not trying to manipulate it, but just be an observer of the breath will sometimes help help you have a focal point during this meditation. I sometimes just imagine a blank space, darkness as a focal point. But whatever serves you, do that. And oftentimes your mind wanders, and that's okay. Just gently, like you're leading a child, bring your attention back to sitting, to the breath, or just the very act of just sitting, how your body feels sitting. And tell your mind kindly that this is what we're doing right now. We're sitting. And I know you want to think about something else. There's nothing to figure out with sitting. I know. It's okay. All sorts of thoughts may be coming up right now for you, and that's okay. Try not to judge them or connect with them, create any sort of identity around them, attach to them. Nope. They are untethered to you. If it helps to put them in bubbles, to visualize just how disconnected your thoughts can be to your true self, then do that. And that way they can float around, come close, or float farther away. Every time another thought comes up, you just bloop, pop it into a bubble. And kindly look at them and say, not right now. We're sitting. All right, friends. I hope you enjoyed the sitting meditation. It is, for me, one of the harder ones, but I like to do it sometimes every now and again, especially when I am waiting, which is ample opportunities to wait. Waiting in the carpool, waiting in the line, waiting for, the gas to pump. Sometimes I'll do the sitting meditation just to create a little bit of space, properly orient myself to my thoughts so I don't feel like I'm just overwhelmed and overcome and stressed out by this thinking mind, this beautiful, crazy thinking mind. So I encourage you to, put it in as one of your tools, add it to the toolkit. In order for you to bring some mindfulness throughout your day. You can pull on it anytime you want, and anytime you need it, it's available. Thanks again. Definitely like this, save it, subscribe, download. Let's get the word out. Let's get mindful, everybody. It's healing to our soul. It's what we need right now, So thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.